Welcome, this is Carrie Schell from On Point Quilter. In today's tutorial, we are going to create a tessellation quilt. So you may be asking, what is a tessellation? According to Jinny Beyer, a tessellation is a shape or combination of shapes which will indefinitely cover an area without any gaps or overlaps. The fabric collection I'll be using for my tessellation quilt came from Do You EQ and is a free fabric download from October 2020 called Good Vibes. So when you're on their website, all you need to do is click on that keyboard icon and then click on either the Windows or the Apple installer and just follow the prompts, and that should install it in Electric Quilt. So in Electric Quilt, I'm going to select New Project, and I'm going to label this Tessellations, and select OK. View the project sketchbook, select the Fabric tab, and select Clear, and select OK. Close the project sketchbook, and select Search Fabric Swatches. Navigate to 2020 Fabric of the Month and click on it, and then click on the plus. Then select Collection Number 10, Benartex Good Vibes, and click on the folder underneath that. Select all fabrics, add to sketchbook, and close. On the home screen, select Design a Block from Scratch. Select a new block pieced Easy Draw block. Set the block width and height at 6 by 6. Set the snaps at 6 by 6. Graph paper cells should be turned off, and snapping options should be just snap to grid. Under Drawing Tools, select the line and draw vertical lines at 2 and 4 inches. Draw a diagonal line between the two vertical lines between the 2 and 4 inches horizontally. Select the Color tab and select Fabric Tools and use 2 of the new colors to color the block. Select Add to Sketchbook. Select a new block, create Serendipity, Shrink and Flip. Select the block that was just drawn on the left. Notice that you have lots of different rotation options. The option I decided I wanted to work with for my tessellation is the first one. And so I'm going to select that first rotation option and select Add to Sketchbook. Feel free to try some of the other rotations and add those to your sketchbook as well. Go ahead and close. Select the quilt work table and select New Quilt Horizontal. On the Layout tab, change the number of blocks to 4 horizontal and 5 vertical. Change the size of the block to 12 by 12. Select the Design tab and select Set Block. Locate the Shrink and Flip block, and with the Control or Command key, click on one of the main block spaces. Select Fabric Tools. Select the spray can, and with a single click you can recolor each of the center tessellating units. Now where the blocks come together, we're going to want to use the same fabric in the 4 different corners. To speed up the coloring process, under the paintbrush, select the line brush, which is the 3rd option. Now you can drag a line, and any patch that is touched by the line will be recolored with the fabric that you have selected. You can also still use a single click to change the fabric in a single patch. Once we've colored the center, select the Border tab, and let's change the size of the first border to 3 inches. Make sure the log size adjustment is set to all, and then type in 3. Select Add, and let's make the second border a tile square border. The tile square border ensures that all blocks have the same height and width. Under the blocks in border, change the horizontal blocks to 9. Notice that when we do this, each block is going to be 6 inches, which is going to be consistent with what we've done inside the quilt. Select Add and make the next border a long horizontal that is 3 inches, and then select Add and change the last border to a mitered border, and let's set the size at a 1/2 inch. Go to the Design tab and select Block Tools Set Block. Now select the block that was originally drawn, and with the Controller Command key, select one of the corner tile square blocks and one of the other tile square blocks. With Rotate, we can use the Alt or Options key and click on a block in the border. This will allow us to rotate all of the blocks along one side of the border. To achieve the border rotation that I want for this quilt, I will typically change the rotation of all of the blocks in the border and then use the rotate on individual blocks to change the rotation of every other block along that same border. I will then repeat the process for the other 3 borders until I come up with a pleasing layout. Then use the fabric tools to color the borders. To recolor the main blocks in the borders, I found the spray can tool to be helpful. The blocks in this quilt would be fun to piece using 2.5 inch or jelly roll strips. The only thing that would require yardage other than 2.5 inch strips would be those 3 inch borders. After my initial coloration, I decided to go back and play a little bit more with the rotation of the borders. There were a few blocks that I found it useful to do a flip before I did the rotate, just to have a little bit better flow going around the edges of the quilt. Now for those 2 corners, the upper right and the lower left, I went with a more neutral fabric because I didn't really want those to stand out. Then I'm going to go ahead and hide show quilt patch lines. This is a great chance to make any final adjustments. Then select Add to Project Sketchbook. Thanks so much for watching. In my related blog post, I will share with you my secret for making this jelly roll friendly. For additional tips and techniques, please subscribe to my weekly newsletter at www.onpointquilter.com.